Good morning.
Thank you. So I want to make sure I got this clear. If a Democrat or a Republican senator has a problem with a grant that's been canceled or reduced, you'd be glad to talk to them.
Yes, Senator, and I have been doing that as well.
There have been Democratic members who called you,
They have spoken to my office, yes, Senator,
and you've tried to respond.
on either side of the aisle. Of course, if it has anything to do with law enforcement or victims,
And that includes Senator Durbin. If he's got a problem, he can call you and you'll try to respond.
absolutely.
Thank you. How many illegal immigrants are in Chicago?
Ooh.
Does anybody know?
I do, countless. What we have seen since January 20th, Senator Graham, is a 1,000% increase in violent attacks against our ICE officers.
Right, but I just want to know, is there like 10 or 100,000? Does anybody know?
There have been multiple, and we have made multiple arrests, of course, involving violent gangs in Chicago, throughout Illinois.
Right. So the only reason I ask that is Chicago is sanctuary city. Do they help ICE deal with illegal immigration, or they're sanctuary city? Do you know?
They are not cooperating, and I would ask that I wish Senator Durbin would condemn the governor for not cooperating with our law enforcement officers.
The only reason I mention this, if you're a sanctuary city, any place in the country, you're making it difficult for the rest of us. Because word gets out, if you get to a certain city, maybe Chicago being one of them, that you're home free, and that just encourages more illegal immigration. Do you deal with that? Do I agree with that?
I do, Senator Graham, and can I add something to that?
Sure.
Please. One of our biggest wins was against the Sinaloa cartel, and that came in Chicago. The state of Illinois has a Trust Act, which prevents local law enforcement from cooperating with our federal immigration authorities. And that's what I was trying to talk to Senator Durbin about. On September 15th, our partners at ICE arrested an illegal alien from Mexico for beating a 21-year-old man to death. He had been imprisoned in Illinois prior to the murder and was released under Illinois' Trust Act. We filed multiple lawsuits in Illinois for sanctuary policies, specifically in-state tuition for illegal aliens and obstructing employers from verifying citizenship. You can't make this up. On September 5th, a federal grand jury in Chicago indicted a major Sinaloa cartel boss, narco-terrorism, guns, and drug charges. On July 11th, we announced a guilty plea for Ovidio Guzman Lopez. You may know him as the son of El Chapo, one of the worst narco-terrorists in the world. In the world,
In
Senators.
Chicago.
In Chicago. In Chicago. He entered a guilty plea to drug conspiracy and 2 counts of knowingly engaging in a continuing criminal enterprise in the state of Illinois. I could continue with fentanyl. I could continue with child predators in Illinois.
Well, thank you. I think I've seen numbers over 100,000. So Chicago and other sanctuary cities, you're making it harder for us to deal with illegal immigration by doing what you're doing. And I am glad President Trump is trying to change those policies. And if you need the National Guard to bring order out of chaos, so be it from my point of view. Now let's get back to the topic sort of at hand here about how the law is being used politically. In September 2022, Attorney General James from New York basically said in a campaign that she would go after Trump, his business transactions, and his family with full force. November the 15th, 2022, Trump announces his candidacy for president. November 2022, 3 days after Trump announced his re-election campaign, Jack Smith was appointed by Garland to be special counsel to look at classified information, document mishandling, and tried to undermine the 2020 election. In March, President Trump was indicted in Manhattan of 2023, just after announcing, 34 felony counts. And what they did is they took misdemeanors and turned them into felonies by using a legal theory that no one in the history of Manhattan had ever been charged with. June 2023, the federal grand jury in the district court for the Southern District of Florida indicted President Trump on 37 charges regarding classified information. Now, all I can say is that taking a hammer to a hard drive in bleach bit apparently doesn't make the cut. Having documents in the garage of President Biden doesn't make the cut. In August of 2023, he was indicted yet again regarding the 2020 election. So all I can say is that in September 27th, Jack Smith's team asked for my phone records and 7 other senators. Now that's just the 2024 election. Comey. Are you aware of the fact that in August, Comey, then director FBI, August of 2016, was in a meeting at the White House where it was discussed that by Brennan, then CIA director, that there was intelligence that maybe the Clinton campaign was trying to cook up a narrative that Trump was a Russian asset?
Senator, I believe that has been reported publicly, but I cannot comment on that.
Okay, well, I'm just telling you. Now, this is a campaign for president in 2016. In July, they open up Crossfire Hurricane. In August, they have a discussion in front of President Biden that there's intel that maybe this is generated by his political opponent. Nothing happened. In September, are you aware of the fact that the intelligence community sent a memo to the FBI director detailing intelligence that suggests as Clinton's campaign is behind the idea that Trump is colluding or cooperating with the Russians?
Senator, I believe that has been reported.
And that was addressed to the FBI director and Mr. Strzok, this memo. Are you aware that he told this committee, I don't recall that, the FBI director?
Senator, I can't discuss anything.
Well, I can tell you this. What the hell would you recall? You're the sitting FBI director. There's a campaign for president going on. You've opened up an investigation believing that the Republican candidate may be a Russian asset. And now all of a sudden, less than a month later, 2 months later, you have 2 inquiries, 2 events to suggest it may be his political opponent. Did anybody in the FBI inform the FISA court or anyone else about this activity that you know of?
I can't discuss that matter, as you know, Senator Grant.
Should they have? Is there a requirement by law enforcement to tell the court if their warrant is being sought or a defendant that there's exculpatory information out there about you?
In general, of course, Senator.
So, to the country, the FBI director gets a memo from the intel community. This may be all a political plot by his opponent. They didn't do a damn thing. Are you familiar with the Steele dossier?
Yes, Senator.
That was the dossier prepared and paid for by the Clinton campaign. Are you aware that it was that document was used to get a warrant on 5 different occasions against Carter Page, an American citizen?
Yes, Senator, and that has been.
Are you aware of the fact in February 2017, after Trump is president, the person who gave Christopher Steele the information, the Russian guy, told the FBI the information I provided you was all bar talk, hearsay, and not reliable? Are you aware of that?
Yes, Senator.
Was there ever an effort by the FBI to tell the FISA court about evidence that the man who helped prepare the document retracted his statement?
I can't discuss that, Senator.
Should there have been?
Can't discuss that.
You wonder why we're looking at Comey? Give me a break. Why are we looking at Comey? Because he ran an FBI and personally knew about exculpatory information and let it slide. How in the hell can 2 FBI agents interview a man who says the document you're using against a sitting president to suggest he may be a Russian agent or Carter Page that is now no longer reliable. How does that not get to the court? Can you tell me how that doesn't get to the court? You can't, can you?
I can't, Senator. And
Can you tell me why my phone records, when I'm the chairman of the Judiciary Committee, were sought by the Jack Smith agents? Why did they ask to know who I called and what I was doing from January 4th to the 7th? Can you tell me that?
No, Senator, and there were 8 senators in total.
Do you think that was an abuse of power?
Senator, I cannot discuss whether there is or is not an ongoing investigation. If I may add one thing, they also wasted $50 million on what you just described, trying to put President Trump in jail prior to the election.
Now, all that was a dog and pony show, so this guy can go up there and blame Comey. Comey's not the president about Comey right now. I'm sorry. Nobody in America gives a damn or shit about Comey. America wants to know what's going on with the snap. When you gonna get the government to turn these lights back on? That's what America want to know. America want to know what you doing about that. What you doing about that? That's what America want to know. America ain't got no time for your whining, your crying, your pity party. America want to know what you gonna do for America. All this Chicago and the gangs and the immigrants. How about you create some Emma jobs? You worried about immigrant crime? How about worried about crime? Crime is crime. I always used to say, crime is crime, no matter who's doing it. I wouldn't care what the issue was. He committed a crime? Okay. Then he's old enough to pay for the crime. Oh, that's Pam Bondi. Bondi's doing what she always do. Answering softball questions. If you wanted my predictions, well, for my Patreon, it's already up there. No, there's so many things going wrong that the general public just have no idea as to, like, what's the main issue. You're never gonna get that, because it's always some rhetoric, it's always some red tape, it's always some nonsense behind it. None of us ever cared. Like, how many of us actually care about any of it? We don't. We don't care about nada. Nada, baby. We care about the money. The money. Once we get into the money. That's what we care about. Because that's the nature of it. That's the nature of it. Most people don't understand it, so they never really have a, like what they say, a dog to fight. Oh, damn. Something is wrong. Okay, that's not working. Hold on. Oh, that's working. I'm seeing sparks. There we go. There we go. Now I'm seeing some work. All the politicians want to do Can you imagine if you missed? Yep, I gotta get a new battery. I had to jump this car. See? Had to jump my Mercedes, my old school Mercedes. Just need a new battery. So I'm just gonna put it in the garage for a minute. Just sitting here for a minute, you know, I don't really drive it. But I don't want to drain this one, so. Burn my good battery out, trying to take care of the bad one. All right. There it is. Ta-da. I love being right. Because it's better than being wrong. Wow, that was loud. That was even louder. All right. I done forgot how to drive my little car. Yeah, the temperature changed like a bug. Okay, this tire needs air because of the temperature change. I see, I understand that. But yeah, Pam Bondi, them, they putting all their focus, all this side show distraction. Nobody care about that. You know what we care about? Where's our money? Where's the money? The money. That's what they want to know. We got $5 billion in emergency fund. The government is closed, so it is an emergency fund. Now, here it is. The government, the judge approved, saying, hey, this is an emergency. So I'm finna go ahead and approve these funds. Yeah, people tell you lies all the time. They told you Zeno had to sell his car so he can get the other car. I'm like, why would I have to sell my car? Still got my car. I got a whole nother Mercedes. I was like, that's like my third one. I just don't show the other one. That's when I go out on my dates. These like my working cars. Well, realistically, as I always say, people have to understand that it's never going to go the way you think. It's never going to go the way you think. All the things you're preparing for that you think that you're ready for, you're not. So things never go the way you think they are. So you have to be prepared for change. Some people just can't deal with change. They can't deal with it. For example, most Americans are used to having a job their whole life, paying their bills, paying their taxes. They're not equipped to deal with problems. So when problems arise, they panic, they fold up, they don't know what to do, they get scared. And they go, I don't know what to do. And they panic. They've never been in a situation before. Black people be like, oh man, shoot, I got 30 days to pay that bill. I ain't tripping. I'm gonna get a final warning, I'm gonna get a sticker, that'll give me some time. I ain't gotta pay that bill, and if I ain't got enough, I'm gonna put something on it. At least just to keep it going. Then I could just pay it down or pay it off later whenever I feel like. They ain't gonna panic. They've been in those situations before. White person or somebody who ain't been in that situation, they just fold up and start panicking, buddy. I understand this. Okay, what we gonna do? There it is. You inside for the winter, so you can get warm, buddy. Sorry I left you out there so long. I know, right? Turk out a sheet got seen. Yeah, I know y'all don't see this part of the house that much. You know? All I do is work hard, man, and I try to do the very best that I can. That's all, man. That's the secret of my success. The secret of my success is I'm working 24 hours a day. Work. That's what I do. Work. You know, a friend never asked me for some money. And you know, money for 2 years ago. Nigga, I ain't entitled to get no fucking money. The hell you mean? You a 40-year-old man. It's like, dude, stop playing with me. I need to get something to eat. Can you give me some money to get something to eat, dog? If I'm the one, I'm 3, 4, 5 states over. If you don't know nobody, I mean more than that. If you don't know nobody in your state close to you that can give you some money to get something to eat, and you gotta call me all the way out here in Illinois, there's some problems somewhere. There's some real problems. You done burnt a lot of people somewhere. No damn way you need to call and might need some money. Like, man, you gotta grow the hell up. Shoot, I need money. You gonna pay my taxes, my bills? My bills are monumental. So it kills me. People be like, man, you doing all this, you make that money. Yeah, I make those money, but I got the bills I got to pay. Do you want to pay those? I don't think so. I know how they roll, man. I know how they do. So I ain't new to the game. The game new to them. It ain't new to me. Trying to get me the guilt trip. Like they gonna guilt me into it. Yeah, we gonna guilt him. My dog died. My sister sick. My auntie's on welfare. I be like, man, that's called life, bro. That's called life. If I'm not, am I supposed to take care of everybody that got problems? And I love this one. If I'd have had it, I'd have gave it to you. How convenient. Because there was a time I needed money. I don't remember you reaching out. Nobody ever reach out when things are going good. They always seem to find your number when things are going bad or they need some money. And they think you're doing better than what you're actually doing. Here they come with their hands out. And they sticky fingers. And they got all the questions in the world. And you know what's funny? They the main ones to tell me what I need to be doing. You ever thought about doing this on your channel? You ever thought about doing that on your channel? You know what? You should be probably doing this. I be like, do you do YouTube? No. Then how are you gonna tell me what it is that I need to be doing on my channel? How is it that you gonna do that? Seriously? So let me get this straight. You are gonna give me advice on what to do on a channel that you don't even have one. So how do you know it works? This is what I got to deal with. So that's what I got to deal with on a 24-hour basis. Dealing with nonsense 24 hours a day. We don't close. Thank you. The world is tricky, man. It's real tricky out here. And if you're not careful, you get tricked out your position. Yeah, I've seen people give up their spots, their positions. But if you start thinking about everything politically and get caught up in the politics, you'll see nothing's ever getting done. It's just people yelling. Who cares if James Comey did whatever he did? Who cares? That stuff happened. I'm not worried about no 2016. I'm worried about 2025. I need to know what's going on with jobs. I need to know what's going on with these taxes, interest rates, insurance, health insurance, education. What are we doing to prepare ourselves for the future? That is bleak. That needs to be on the table. We're not talking about that. We're not having those conversations. They don't want to have it because they know it's impending doom. Those are the conversations they want to avoid. Did time go back an hour? I believe it did. But anyway, let me get up out of here, man. I just wanted to put that bee in your bonnet, and I'm out.